The night my father disappeared, nobody in our house slept. It was almost 1 a.m., and his phone had been switched off for more than 4 hours. That wasn't like him. Every evening, no matter where he was, he always called my mother before coming home. But that night, nothing. My mother kept pacing around the sitting room. She would pick up her phone, dial his number, then sigh when it went straight to voicemail. My elder brother said quietly, "Let's wait till morning." My mother shook her head. Something is wrong. Just then, we heard the sound of a motorcycle stopping outside our compound. 2 local vigilante members came down. One of them called my mother's name. The moment she stepped outside, I followed her. The older vigilante removed his cap. "Madam, we found your husband." My mother's face lit up. "Where is he?" The man didn't answer immediately. Instead, he looked at the ground. Then he said, "He was beaten badly. We found him beside the old road leading to your family land." My mother's legs almost gave way. "What happened?" The vigilante sighed. "He kept saying one name before he passed out." "What name?" "Chief Balogan." The moment we heard that name, everybody became silent. Chief Balogan wasn't just the richest man in our town. He was the man nobody dared to fight. People said if he wanted your land, he would make sure you lost it. And for almost 1 year, he had been asking my father to sell our family land every single time. My father told him the same thing. That land is not for sale. We had no idea that saying no to a billionaire would change our lives forever. The next morning, we rushed to the general hospital. My father was still unconscious. His head was wrapped in a white bandage, and one of his arms was in a cast. The doctor told us he had received several blows to the head. "We've done everything we can," he said. "Now we have to wait for him to wake up." My mother sat beside his bed without saying a word. She held his hand and kept praying quietly. Nobody in our family could believe what had happened. My father was not a troublesome man. Everybody in our town knew him as a peaceful farmer. He hardly argued with anyone. So who could have beaten him like that? Deep down, we already knew the answer. Around noon, 3 elders from our village came to the hospital. They greeted my mother and sat down. One of them cleared his throat. "My daughter, I think it's time we told you the truth." My mother looked at him. "What truth?" The oldest man sighed. "Chief Balogan has been disturbing your husband for almost 1 year. My mother frowned. "My husband never told me. He didn't want you to worry," the old man replied. "He believed the matter would end peacefully, but it didn't." The elder explained that Chief Balogan wanted to build a luxury estate on our family land. Many families had already sold their land to him. Some sold willingly. Others sold because they were afraid. Our family was the only one that refused. "Your husband kept saying that land belonged to his forefathers," the elder said. "He always told Chief Balogan the same thing. Money can buy many things, but it cannot buy my father's grave." My mother's eyes filled with tears. My grandfather was buried on that land. So was my grandmother. There was also a small family shrine that had stood there for generations. To us, that land was more than farmland. It was our family's history. Just then, a black SUV stopped in front of the hospital. Everybody outside suddenly became quiet. People started moving away from the entrance. I looked through the window. Chief Balogan had arrived, even before he entered the ward. People were greeting him. "Good afternoon, Chief. Welcome, Chief." Some even bent slightly to greet him. He didn't answer most of them. He walked into my father's room with 2 bodyguards behind him. He looked at my father on the bed. Then he turned to my mother. "I'm sorry about what happened." My mother stood up immediately. "Did you come here to mock us?" Chief Balogan shook his head. "I came to settle this matter. He brought out a brown envelope and placed it on the table. There is 20 million naira inside. Take it. Leave the land. My mother looked at the envelope, then pushed it back towards him. We're not selling. Chief Balogun smiled. It wasn't the smile of a kind man. It was the smile of someone who was used to getting whatever he wanted. He leaned closer and spoke quietly. You don't understand. I wasn't asking. I was giving you one last chance. He adjusted his expensive wristwatch and turned to leave. As he reached the door, he stopped. Without looking back, he said, by this time next week, that land will belong to me. Then he walked away. The room became silent again. My mother looked at my father, lying on the hospital bed. Then she looked at the envelope Chief Balogun had left behind. For the first time, I saw fear in her eyes. 3 days later, my father finally opened his eyes. My mother quickly held his hand. Thank God. You scared all of us. My father looked around the room. His lips were dry. He could barely speak. The land. My mother nodded. It's still ours. He closed his eyes for a few seconds. Then he whispered, don't let him take it. Those were the first clear words he said after waking up. The doctor later allowed us to take him home. He needed plenty of rest. News of what happened had already spread across the town. People came to greet him every day. Some prayed for him, some advised him. Others simply shook their heads. One afternoon, an old man visited our house. His name was Pa Gabriel. He was almost 90 years old. He had known my grandfather very well. After greeting my father, he asked everyone else to leave the room. They spoke for almost 30 minutes. When Pa Gabriel came outside, he looked at my mother. There is something your husband must tell the family. That evening, my father called all of us together. He looked weak, but his voice was stronger than before. I've been keeping something from all of you. We all listened quietly. When my father was alive, he showed me some old documents. They were handed over to him by his own father. They prove that our family owns that land. My elder brother frowned. Then, why haven't we shown them to anyone? My father sighed. Because I couldn't find them. The documents disappeared almost 2 years ago. The same time Chief Balogun started asking for the land. The room became silent. You mean somebody stole them? I asked. My father nodded slowly. I believe so. I searched everywhere. I even thought they had been destroyed. My mother looked confused. If the documents are missing, how do we prove the land belongs to us? Before my father could answer, someone shouted from outside, fire. We all ran into the compound. Smoke was rising from the direction of our family land. Without thinking, my elder brother and I jumped on his motorcycle. We raced there as fast as we could. When we arrived, part of our cassava farm was already burning. Villagers were trying to put out the fire with buckets of water. Nobody knew how it started. As we joined them, I noticed something. A black pickup truck was driving away from the other side of the farm. It was moving fast. I couldn't see the number plate, but I recognized the driver. He was one of the men who always followed Chief Balogun everywhere. By the time the fire was finally put out, almost half of our farm had been destroyed. My brother picked up his phone immediately. We're going to the police. An elderly man grabbed his arm. My son, don't waste your time. The police won't do anything. Everybody knows who is behind this, but nobody will testify. My brother looked around. The villagers lowered their heads. Not one person was willing to speak. They were all afraid. That night, as we returned home, my father was sitting quietly in the compound. When he saw the smoke stains on our clothes, he already knew. He didn't ask any questions. He simply looked at the sky and said, if we don't find those documents, we'll lose everything. Just then, my mother remembered something. She stood up suddenly. Wait, she looked at my father. Didn't your late father always keep his important papers inside that old wooden box in the village house. My father's eyes widened. For the first time in days, a small smile appeared on his face. I completely forgot about that box. The next morning, before sunrise, we decided to travel to my late grandfather's abandoned village house. None of us knew. Someone else was already on the way there. Before 5 a.m., my father, my elder brother, and I left for the village. My mother wanted to follow us, but my father asked her to stay behind. If anything happens to us, somebody must remain with the children, he said. The village was almost an hour away. As we got there, the place looked exactly the way I remembered it. The old house was still standing, but the walls were cracked. The roof had almost fallen apart. Nobody had lived there since my grandfather died. My father walked straight inside. He didn't waste time looking around. The box should be in my father's room, he said. We entered the room together. Everything was covered in dust. The old wooden bed was still there. So was the broken cupboard. My father walked to one corner of the room. He bent down and pulled out a wooden box from under the bed. His hands were shaking. This is it. He slowly opened it. Inside were old family photographs, my grandfather's Bible, some letters, and a few old receipts. But the documents we were looking for were nowhere to be found. My father's face fell. No, they can't be missing. He searched the box again. Nothing. My brother searched the cupboard. I searched under the bed. Still nothing. Just when we were about to give up, I noticed one of the floor tiles looked different. It wasn't cemented properly like the others. I called my father. Daddy, come and see this. He knelt beside me, using an old cutlass lying outside. My brother carefully lifted the tile. Under it, there was a small metal container wrapped in black nylon. My father's heart was beating so fast that I could hear him breathing heavily. He removed the nylon and opened the container. Inside was a brown envelope. The papers were old, but they were still in good condition. My father quickly opened them. His eyes filled with tears. This is it. The original family land documents. There was also another folded letter. It was written by my grandfather. My father read it quietly. Then he handed it to us. It said, "If you're reading this, it means someone has come for our land. Never sell it. This land was given to our family by the community over 100 years ago. Keep these papers safe because one day somebody with power and money will try to take it." We all stood there in silence. It felt as if my grandfather had seen the future. My father carefully placed the documents back into the envelope. "We're taking these straight to our lawyer." Just then, we heard the sound of vehicles outside. Several doors slammed shut. My brother quickly looked through the window. His face changed immediately. "Daddy, it's Chief Balogun." My father rushed to the window. Outside, 3 black SUVs had parked in front of the house. Chief Balogun stepped out slowly, wearing dark sunglasses. Behind him were several men. He smiled as he looked toward the old house. Then he said loudly, "I knew you would come looking for the documents." My father's grip tightened around the envelope. Chief Balogun pointed toward the house. "Search every room. I want those papers." His men immediately started walking toward the front door. My father looked at us. His voice was calm, but urgent. "No matter what happens, these documents must not fall into his hands." My father quickly handed the brown envelope to my elder brother. "Take it. Run through the back. Don't stop until you get to Barrister Adebayo's office." My brother didn't argue. He grabbed the envelope and rushed out through the back door. A few seconds later, Chief Balogun's men forced the front door open. They searched every room. They turned over chairs, opened old boxes, even pulled out the mattresses, but they couldn't find the documents. Chief Balogun walked into the house with both hands in his pockets. He looked at my father and smiled. "You've made this harder than it should be." My father looked him straight in the eyes. "You'll never get our land." Chief Balogun laughed. "We'll see just then." One of his men ran inside. "Chief," one young man escaped through the back. Chief Balogun's smile disappeared. "Go after him." 3 vehicles sped out immediately. My heart was beating fast. My brother was carrying the only proof that the land belonged to our family. If they caught him, everything would be over. About 40 minutes later, my mother's phone rang. It was my brother. His voice was shaking. "I've reached the lawyer's office." I gave him all the documents. My father closed his eyes and thanked God. For the first time in many days, there was hope. The following morning, our lawyer filed a case in court. The news spread across the town. For the first time, some families gathered the courage to speak. They came forward one after another. Many of them said they had also been threatened by Chief Balogun. Some claimed they were forced to sell their land for almost nothing. Others said they signed documents because they were afraid. The courtroom was full on the day of judgment. Everybody wanted to know who would win. Chief Balogun arrived with several senior lawyers. He looked confident. He believed money could solve everything. Then our lawyer stood up. He presented the original family land documents. He also presented my grandfather's handwritten letter. The judge carefully examined every document. After listening to both sides for hours, he finally gave his judgment. The court finds that the land legally belongs to the family of Mr. Johnson. Any document claiming otherwise is declared null and void. The land shall remain with the rightful owners. The courtroom became quiet. Then people started clapping. Chief Balogun lowered his head. For the first time, the most powerful man in our town had lost. Weeks later, the government began investigating some of his land deals. More families came forward with complaints. Some of the lands he had taken were returned to their owners. Others received compensation. As for our family, we went back to our land. My father stood beside my grandfather's grave for a long time. He didn't say much. He simply smiled. That was the first genuine smile I had seen on his face in months. Looking back now, I learned something I'll never forget. Money can buy influence. It can buy expensive lawyers. It can even make people afraid to speak, but it cannot change the truth. And no matter how powerful someone becomes, there will always come a day when they have to answer for what they have done.